Today, we are going to hear a story that could be called a surprising story. It's all about two sisters called Mary and Martha. They were friends of Jesus, and he often came to visit them. We don't know very much about their family, but we've imagined that they have a nephew. We've called him Benji. Today, we'll find out what happened when Benji visited his two aunts on the same day that Jesus came to tea. So let's open the book to the Bible story called Tea at Auntie's House.
Hurry, it's nearly time to go,
said Benji.
No school today, so I'm off to tea with Aunt Mary and Aunt Martha.
Benji loved to visit his two aunts. They lived just a few streets away in the town of Bethany with Benji's Uncle Lazarus.
Bye, Mum,
shouted Benji.
I'll see you later.
Benji ran off down the road. The sun was still bright in the sky, and he felt its warmth on his face, lovely and bright and warm. Benji sniffed the air as he reached the door of his aunt's house. He said to himself.
Freshly baked cakes. Aunt Martha makes the best cakes in the world. I hope she's made my favourites.
He rushed through the door, straight into the kitchen.
Aunt Martha, have you made me some honey and date slices?
Oh, hello, my lovely.
Cried Aunt Martha as she wiped her wet hands.
Yes, of course I have. Come and give me a hug.
Benji gave his aunt a big hug.
Now off you go and see what your Aunt Mary is doing,
said Aunt Martha.
She's supposed to be helping me. She knows there's lots to do.
Benji knew at once he'd better do as he was told. He loved Aunt Martha, but he knew how grumpy she could get, especially when they had visitors. In the next room, Benji could hear a man's voice. As he went in, he saw Aunt Mary sitting with her friends and neighbours, listening to the man talking.
I love coming here,
thought Benji.
It's such a happy house.
Benji,
called Aunt Mary.
come and sit by me. This is our friend Jesus. Come and hear what he has to tell us.
Benji squeezed between the guests. It was a bit squashed in that small house with all those visitors. Aunt Mary held out her arms.
That's it.
She said to Benji.
Just sit here by me.
Benji was a bit disappointed that he wasn't going to hear any of Aunt Mary's stories, but he sat down by her anyway. It was lovely here. Benji listened to Jesus. He was telling stories and teaching everyone about God. Benji was so surprised. He thought Aunt Mary was the best storyteller, but the things that Jesus was saying were so wonderful that he decided that he was the best storyteller ever.
Everyone should listen to Jesus,
he thought.
It makes me feel so good, lovely and happy and warm.
Crash! Bang! Voila!
Oh no!
thought Benji.
Aunt Martha's thrown a wobbly in the kitchen.
Sure enough, just as Benji and the others were getting really interested in what Jesus was telling them, Aunt Martha burst into the room, looking hot and flustered.
Jesus,
she snapped.
Why don't you tell Mary to come and help me in the kitchen instead of sitting here listening to you? I could do with some help, you know.
Benji wondered what would happen now. He loved Aunt Martha, even though she sometimes got cross. But Jesus knew exactly what to say.
Martha,
he said gently.
Don't be angry with Mary. This is where she should be. She's hearing about the love of God. Come and sit down with us. We'll sort the food out later.
Benji moved up a bit and patted the space next to him. There's room for you here.
There's room for you here, Aunt Martha.
Aunt Martha gave a big sigh. Jesus was right. The food could wait. She wanted to sit with Jesus too. She squeezed past the other guests and sat down beside Benji.
This is great.
Thought Benji as he sat between his two favourite aunts, listening to Jesus.
This has to be the best thing to do.
Poor Martha had such a lot of work to do, and nobody seemed to be helping her. You might have expected Jesus to ask Mary to go and help, but he didn't, did he? Instead, he asked Martha to stop working for a while and come and sit down with the others. I wonder why he did that. Let's close our eyes and think about the story. There are so many things to keep adults busy at home. Cooking, washing, gardening, and children can be busy too. Doing homework, playing on the computer, watching television. Sometimes it's important to stop doing those things and make time for sharing and talking together about the really important things in life. Think now about what things are really important to you. Now I'm going to say a prayer, and if you want to make it your prayer, say Amen at the end after me. Dear God, in our families, help us to make time for each other, time to think, and time to talk about the things that are really important. Amen.